Kamina the Koach here. I have earplugs in because there's like construction and stuff going on in my building, so hopefully this will work out. I deleted the video I did yesterday because I work for a conservative and I don't want to get in trouble. So, so this video is still going to give the same results. It's just not going to use the quite explicit language. So, Kamina the Koach, this channel used to be dedicated to helping people get from the United States overseas to work. I was overseas for 10 years. When COVID forced me back into the United States, I began sharing my adoption reunion journey and my coming out of the fog journey. I am a transracial, late discovery, biracial adoptee, meaning I'm half white, half black. I identify as African American. I was adopted by a white family and I wasn't told. I had to find out, and I didn't find out until I was 32. So big stuff. This is not so, first of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm not offering any recommendation, I'm only sharing my story. Also, I just want you to know that if this is the first video of mine that you've watched, I've been on a healing journey for a very, very long time. And I did a lot of studying before I embarked on this. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you should or you shouldn't, I'm just saying I did a lot of prep before I entered into this. So I've been using plant-assisted trauma therapy on my own. My therapist happens to be informed in plant-assisted trauma therapy, but she did not recommend it, and she has only been integral in my integration process. So that is after you've gone through your session, your ceremony, you need to feed back with a professional so that you can integrate, the new information into your life. So that's what this video is about. My last 3 videos, except for the Colin Kaepernick video, my last 3 videos gave a breakdown of each ceremony. So how I was feeling after each ceremony. So if you want to see me fresh out of ceremony, go back and check out those other videos. Again, they're also not titled with the substance that I used. So plant medicine, plant healing, I did a lot of research first. I did 3 sessions total because for myself, I knew I needed to know I was safe because I would not be going through ceremony with a doula or a babysitter. So I needed to know that I was safe. So that's why I titrated up so that I could know, so I could test to see if my subconscious felt safe. So first started off with 2 grams, and unequivocally the message was yes, you're safe. I tried to look at some dark places and my subconscious said, no, let's not do that. So I also had the very common reported feeling of no ego. Personally, I felt as though I was one with the divine energy, with the divine life force. It took me a long time to come back to the realization that I am here, and I have some videos for myself to look back on of me recognizing me and looking at me and being in awe of me. So that first session was just the foundation. Let me know that I was safe, 2 grams. Second session was 3 grams. And because I knew I was safe, I decided to do some shadow work, and this is not based on any research I've done or anything. I just chose to submit myself and to force myself to look at some dark regions of my life. My goals for healing are my intention for that ceremony. So my intention for the first ceremony was just to know I was safe. My intention for the second ceremony was to heal my man wound, not just romantic men relationships, but all men. It's way too broad. I don't know what I was thinking. But, and my other goal was to heal some of the fractures that I have with relationships with people at work. So that was my goal for my second one. And, I spent about 2 hours crying. Instead of being in my fairy woods here that you see behind me, I was in a dark room with a shade over my eyes, the way that the therapists do it. Whew. My unequivocally, my message from that session, from that ceremony, was it doesn't have to hurt to heal. And that was my message. Please don't take this as science or you should, right? I'm just saying inside of me. So I had this big awakening to self-worth and why I've had self-worth issues my whole life. I had deep, deep compassion for baby Kamina, and I loved on her quite a bit. Adolescent Kamina and teenage Kamina, wow. So that was, I think, the beginning of my true inner family system. So I'd been using inner family systems before for just baby Kamina. And so I think that during that second session, I really started to see all versions of myself inside of me and truly mourn them and have compassion for them. And also coming to the realization that the reason why my relationships often don't work, and even friendships, is because I wasn't loved the way that I need to be loved by my mother. So I'm constantly looking for that unconditional mother love in every relationship I come across. It was profound, but very sad. And I picked myself up out of that dark room, came to my fairy woods. I was like, no. And I decided right there for my final big session that they call it a hero session. I don't like that. I've heard some other people say the other side, and but some other terms. I don't like to term it. I just went with 5 because I heard a gentleman speaking about learning from a shaman and them discussing that 5 was the golden number, and that you should be alone and you should just go through it on your own. So really, that's all I based that off of. So, and I made that decision at that second ceremony. It doesn't have to hurt to heal, and I wasn't going to, at least not for a long while, subject myself to any more pain. Self-sabotaging is also another place where I didn't feel worthy, so I felt like I deserved this stuff. And self-sabotaging is something I know that a lot of adoptees struggle with, and I myself personally, like, that's my primary reason for being in therapy, is because I can make excellent leeway on my own. I've done wonderful things with my life on my own, but when I am very seriously triggered, like birthdays, holidays, or some version of my family dies, I have had really, really negative backslides and self-sabotaging reactions. So yeah, that was a big realization for me, that my self-worth is the underlying issue, and then beginning to love myself. But I was very sad that whole week until my next session. I was really sad and very, very snappy, and I recognized that the snappiness was in protection of the me's that I had discovered. And because I'm just now realizing this, that I was so snappy because I've never been really good at boundaries, and I wasn't protecting myself. And I had just come to this huge realization of worth and warned my inner self and my baby self. And I was just angry that people were still hurting her. And I really hadn't come to like the realization, like, it's really time to start working on boundaries. Not yet. So my third session, 5 grams, I did it in my fairy woods in the evening time. Very interestingly enough, I actually had a fairly negative run-in with a male adoptee who had come here, and I knew he was supposed to come to visit, but he hadn't kept up communication with me consistently. So I was feeling really disgruntled about that, because that's one of my boundaries, and I don't think I had, and I know I didn't address it with him, but I was still pretty angry about it. And he showed up here and kind of just expected me to drop what I was doing to entertain him, and then he stood me up. And that's a big no for me. It's a big, big no for me. So I'm really still kind of surprised that I was brave enough to enter into ceremony having had this happen. But I just really trusted in my inner self, because that first ceremony, letting it really gave me a new confidence in who I am. That, are you safe? That intention, like, it's a resounding yes. So I feel very brave, and I feel very safe inside of myself and my own body, which is also a new thing. Because I always seem like I'm very confident and sure of myself, but I'm not really, or I hadn't been. And going into this session, I just really trusted myself. I trusted the plant medicine, and we went in. And I don't think that I would have been brave enough to do that before. So titrating up definitely served its purpose. So I did the 5 grams, and the transition was beautiful. Second time transition wasn't so beautiful. I didn't eat beforehand, so I was kind of sick transitioning. This time I did eat before, just a little something, but it was well worth it. I was sick in my stomach the next day. My body needed to purge that stuff out, the medicine out. But the day of was nothing but beauty. The night of, I just laid right there on my little, I have a soft silky rug there, and I just laid there and had an exchange with myself without the ego. It was just, when I think back on it, it just makes me stop and like revel. My big come about from that was love, and I solidified the relationship with myself. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to apologize. I was going to say, I'm sorry if this sounds arrogant, but I'm not. If you think that this is born of vanity or conceit, you don't know me at all. Yeah. And that's not, I'm going to stop apologizing for loving myself unequivocally, for finding myself so beautiful, for wanting to touch on myself, for wanting to love on myself, for knowing that, for coming to this realization that I don't need comfort outside of myself, that I can comfort myself. I can give myself the love that mother should have given to me. And what a beautiful realization. It was very interesting. So we'll circle back to the boundaries. So the guy, the male adoptee, whatever he is, popped back up on Sunday. So I heard from him on Friday, and I didn't hear from him again until Sunday. He popped up and he texted me. He said, I'm back from Vegas. I live in Arizona. I'm back from Vegas. I'm going to take a nap, and I'll come see you at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. I was like, I hadn't done any integration at that point, and it is what it is. I mean, you don't do this stuff and just totally become a perfect person. I'm never going to be a perfect person. So I cussed him breathless via text, and then I tried to delete and block him, and I couldn't. The universe said, no, we need you to face this. So I really like the guy, to be honest. We're not a good team, because even though he's done a lot of therapy, it's just not a good situation. Lovely guy. We shared some nice moments, but anyways. And I told him when he was leaving, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Please don't call me anymore. But so we had a very good discussion, and he effectively shamed me. He did apologize, and he explained what had happened. He apologized that he was wrong, and I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. However, he then sat there and proceeded to shame me about how I handled the situation, and he's right. He's right. He was right. And I wallowed in this shame for about 3 days. and it was very uncomfortable, but I recognize that emotion is trying to tell me something. So the reason I felt shame is because I know that I'm love and I should behave more lovingly. Why was I expressing rage like that? I was expressing rage like that because I had not set and honored my boundaries. And that's all there is to it. That's the long and short of it. I had rage. I have rage. I'm afraid of my rage, by the way. And I'm afraid of other people's rage. So I'm afraid of setting boundaries because I'm afraid of the other person's response. They're going to show rage, which is going to trigger my rage, and I'm afraid of my rage. And I understand that my rage has come from not setting proper boundaries, not taking care of myself. So then I feel intense rage when something then happens to me because I haven't taken care of me. I haven't put myself first. I haven't taken care of me the way that I know that I need to. So that is my current endeavor. I am cleansing, taking a while to cleanse, get the plant, just go ahead and not, abstain from the plant medicine for a while and just work with the information that I've got now and the changes that are happening now. The night of my final ceremony, I did apologize to my former partner. Our relationship had ended very hastily, and I didn't understand why I hadn't cried or hadn't mourned it. I was frozen from that. I couldn't afford to feel the emotion at the time, so I definitely sent him an apology. I sent his mother an apology. It was a lot. So love was my final push, my final message, and it spurred a love affair with myself, and I guess a lot, even the abandonment issues stem from that worthiness, that core issue of worthiness. It really gives me and my therapist something really valuable to go off of, and instead of knowing all this stuff logically, I actually feel it, which is a big difference. And talking about loving yourself and actually feeling like those butterflies when you first meet somebody and you're excited about them. If I allow myself to turn my eye in, I feel that way about myself. It's beautiful. So, again, not a doctor. This is not a recommendation video. This is for research purposes only. Kamina the Koach sending you love, light, peace, and joy. Until next time, peace.